Jake, Smoke King Martinez, owned Dallas. His barbecue joint had lines around the block. Every day, rain or shine. 3 James Beard nominations, 2 Netflix specials, 4.2 million TikTok followers. The smell of mesquite smoke and perfectly charred brisket was his signature. His kingdom. But Jake had a problem. He'd conquered American BBQ. Every competition, every critic, every doubter. He needed a new challenge. He needed something to prove wrong. That's when the algorithm showed him the video. A Filipino food blogger named Rico Valdez, standing in front of a massive roasted pig, smiling at the camera with absolute confidence. American BBQ fans always talk about Texas brisket like it's the pinnacle of meat. But they've never tried real Lechon from Tarlac. If they had, they'd know who the real champions are. The video had 8 million views. The comments were brutal. Americans think they invented cooking meat over fire. Texas BBQ is just overpriced and overhyped. One bite of proper Lechon would humble every pitmaster in America. Jake's jaw clenched. He screenshot the video, posted it to his Instagram story. This Rico guy thinks roasted pig beats Texas BBQ. Lechon is just crispy pork. No smoke, no technique, no soul. I'll fly to Philippines right now and prove it. The post exploded. 250,000 likes in 3 hours. Rico responded within minutes. Come then. I'll show you what real mastery looks like. Bring your cameras. Bring your ego. You'll need both. Jake booked the flight that night. Something in Rico's eyes bothered him. That confidence, that certainty. Jake ignored the feeling. He was the Smoke King. He didn't lose. 14 hours later, Jake landed in Manila. The heat hit him like a wall, thick, humid, overwhelming. Rico met him at arrivals with a camera crew and that same knowing smile. Welcome to the Philippines, Smoke King. Ready to learn something? Jake forced a laugh. I'm here to teach, not learn. Let's get this over with. They drove north for 3 hours, through crowded highways, past rice fields, small villages, mountains in the distance. Jake filmed everything. His followers were watching. This was content gold. We're going to Tarlac, Rico explained. My Lola's village. She's been making Lechon for 60 years, 4 generations of her family, same recipe, same technique. 60 years of roasting a pig? Jake smirked at his camera. In Texas, we'd call that being stuck in your ways. Rico said nothing, just smiled. That smile made Jake uncomfortable. But he kept filming. They arrived at a small compound. Simple houses. A large outdoor kitchen. Banana trees everywhere. An elderly woman stood near a massive clay pit, fire burning low beneath it. A whole pig slowly rotating on a bamboo spit. Lola Remedios. She was maybe 80 years old, weathered hands, kind eyes. She wore a faded apron and moved with the precision of someone who'd done this 10,000 times. Rico spoke to her in Tagalog. She nodded and smiled at Jake. She says you're welcome here. She's honored you came so far. Jake felt a twinge of guilt. He pushed it away. Tell her I'm excited to try it, Rico translated. Lola Remedios laughed softly, said something back. She says the pig will speak for itself. The Lechon had been cooking for 6 hours already. Lola Remedios explained through Rico's translation. The pig was stuffed with lemongrass, garlic, onions, bay leaves, local herbs Jake didn't recognize. The fire was specific wood, hardwood from these mountains that burned at the exact temperature needed. The rotation speed mattered. Too fast, uneven cooking. Too slow, the skin wouldn't crisp properly. Jake watched. He'd expected simplicity. Peasant cooking, roast and serve. But this was technique. This was precision. This was science. He didn't say that out loud. Lola Remedios checked the pig, pressed the skin gently, listened to the sound it made, nodded. She spoke to Rico. She says it's ready. Lola Remedios carved with a blade that looked older than Jake. The knife moved with surgical precision. She cut through the skin first. The sound was incredible. A crack. A shatter. Like breaking glass made of meat. She carved a section of the belly. The skin golden and impossibly crispy. The fat underneath had rendered completely. The meat was dark, glistening, falling apart. She placed it on a banana leaf. Added a small bowl of sauce. Liver, vinegar, spices. She handed it to Jake with both hands. A gesture of respect. Jake looked at the camera. Time for his moment. All right, let's see if this lives up to 60 years of hype. He picked up a piece, skin and meat together, raised it to his mouth. He bit down. The first sensation was texture. The skin exploded, crispy beyond anything he'd experienced, but not brittle, not dry. It had depth, layers. Beneath it, the fat had transformed into something that wasn't quite fat anymore. Silky rich. It coated his mouth but didn't feel heavy. The meat itself was tender, not falling apart from being overcooked. Tender from being cooked perfectly. Every fiber had broken down exactly right. Then the flavor hit. The lemongrass, subtle but present. The garlic, roasted sweet. The herbs he couldn't name, creating complexity he couldn't describe. The smoke was there too. Not the heavy mesquite smoke he was used to. Something lighter, more delicate. It supported the meat instead of dominating it. Jake chewed slowly. His confident expression melted. Rico watched. Lola Remedios watched. The cameras rolled. Jake swallowed. He looked at the remaining piece in his hand. He looked at the pig. He looked at Lola Remedios. This is... He stopped, started again. This is actually incredible. The words felt like betrayal, but they were true. Rico's smile widened. Try it with the sauce. Jake dipped the next piece in the liver sauce. The acidity cut through the richness. The liver added earthiness. Everything balanced perfectly. He took another bite, and another. He wasn't filming anymore. He wasn't thinking about content. He was just eating, experiencing, learning. How is the skin this crispy? Jake finally asked. Genuine curiosity. No arrogance left. Rico translated. Lola Remedios explained through him. The type of pig matters. Local pigs have different fat content. The herbs inside create steam that helps render the fat from the inside. The specific wood creates the right heat level. The rotation speed ensures even crisping. The timing is everything. Too short, not crispy. Too long, the meat dries out. Jake listened to every word. This wasn't simple. This wasn't basic. This was mastery built over decades, refined over generations. In Texas, Jake said quietly, we focus on the smoke, the rub, the bark, low and slow until the collagen breaks down. He paused. But this is a completely different approach. You're focusing on the skin, the fat rendering, the internal flavoring. It's not better or worse. It's just different excellence. Those last two words felt important. Different excellence. Lola Remedios brought out more variations. Lechon from different regions, each prepared differently. Cebu style, crispier skin, less stuffing, relies purely on the pork flavor. Manila style, more garlic, more herbs, richer. Each one demonstrated different mastery, different philosophy, different perfection. Jake tasted them all. His camera crew had stopped filming. They were eating too, eyes wide, converted. Jake sat down on a wooden bench. The tropical sun was setting. Orange and pink painted the sky. Rico sat beside him. I came here to prove you wrong, Jake said. To prove that Texas BBQ was superior. That Lechon was just hype. He looked at Rico. But I was wrong. I judged something I'd never tried. I dismissed an entire culture's mastery because it wasn't my mastery. Rico nodded. Food isn't a competition. It's an expression of love, of culture, of history. Texas BBQ is beautiful because it represents your story. Lechon is beautiful because it represents ours. Both can be excellent. Jake felt something crack inside him. Not breaking. Opening. That night, Jake sat in his hotel room. His phone was blowing up. His followers wanted the video, the takedown, the proof that Texas was superior. He opened his laptop, pulled up the footage, watched himself take that first bite, watched his face change, watched humility replace arrogance in real time. He could edit this. He could make himself look better. He could downplay how good it was. But he couldn't. Not anymore. Jake opened Instagram, went live. 50,000 people joined within seconds. I need to tell you something, he began. His voice was different, quieter, honest. I flew to the Philippines to prove Lechon was overhyped. I was arrogant. I was dismissive. I was wrong. He told them about Lola Remedios, about 60 years of mastery, about different approaches to excellence. I spent 18 years perfecting Texas BBQ, and I'm proud of that. But that doesn't mean it's the only way. Lola Remedios spent 60 years perfecting Lechon. That's just as valid, just as beautiful, just as worthy of respect. The comments exploded. Not with mockery, with respect. This is why we follow you. Growth in real time. This is the content we need, Jake continued. I'm not abandoning Texas BBQ. That's my home, my culture, my story. But I'm done pretending it's the only story that matters. The live stream went on for 40 minutes. Jake answered questions, talked about the technique he'd learned, showed videos of the preparation. When he signed off, something had changed, not just in his followers, in him. 3 months later, Jake launched Masters of Fire, a video series celebrating different cultures' approaches to cooking meat. Filipino lechon, Korean barbecue, Argentinian asado, Jamaican jerk, Indian tandoori. Each episode featured the masters, told their stories, showed their techniques. Jake didn't dominate the episodes. He learned. He listened. He elevated other voices. The series went viral. 20 million views per episode, not because of drama, because of respect. 1 year after his trip, Jake returned to Tarlac. He sat with Lola Remedios as she prepared lechon, watching her work with the same precision, the same love. She said something in Tagalog. Rico translated. She says you've become wise. That wisdom looks good on you. Jake felt tears in his eyes. He didn't hide them. Tell her thank you. For teaching me. For humbling me. For showing me what food really means, Rico translated. Lola Remedios smiled, touched Jake's shoulder gently. She spoke again. Rico translated. She says you already knew. You just forgot for a while. But now you remember. And that's what matters. As the sun set over the mountains of Tarlac, Jake watched the pig rotate slowly over the fire. He'd come to the Philippines to prove something. And he had proven something. Just not what he expected. He'd proven that humility was stronger than arrogance. That listening was more powerful than speaking. That celebrating others elevated everyone. Jake pulled out his phone, posted a simple photo. Lola Remedios smiling beside her fire. The caption, "This is what mastery looks like. Different from mine. Equal to mine. Beautiful in its own way." The post got 6 million likes. But for the first time, Jake didn't care about the numbers. He cared about the lesson. And that made all the difference.